Hello and welcome to my channel. This is Jacqueline, once again bringing you some fun and budget-friendly DIYs to enhance the beauty and function of your yard. One of the most important things in design is to have a focal point that provides interest and allows the eye to be drawn into just where you want it to be. Just because we're outdoors, these principles are just as important. If you want to learn how I created this focal point on a forgotten corner of my backyard, stay tuned. Well, here's the before of my project. I did this Ikea hack years ago with the Ikea Applaro panel. I was able to find them on the As Is section shortly before they were discontinued. The thing I didn't like about these panels though is that they were too short. So I came up with this hack to get the height I wanted. I basically attached the panels to 2x4s and then camouflaged the transition with other materials, in this case with metal flashing, which I wove around the posts. If you wanted to do something similar, creating a slider wall is not that hard, or you can also use these IKEA panels which are similar and seem to be taller.
Well, it's time to redo this thing. I was just gonna paint it, but it turns out that the whole thing is kind of falling. Something's happened that the pylons that we created are not holding it, and as you can see, some of the wood rot. So we're gonna redo the whole thing and do it better. We got newer 2x4s, and then the panels, again, those come already assembled. I just have to take them apart. So say goodbye to the old one, soon to be completely new and refurbished. Okay, so I finished taking everything off. We decided we're gonna have to really start from scratch. Those posts are gonna have to be broken up, those old posts that we had done. And for some reason, I guess we didn't do metal ones, we just did two on the sides. So my husband's gonna borrow a special tool from the neighbor to break that up, and we're just gonna have to create new ones. So he got some of these sonotube, and we got some concrete, and then we're gonna have to make them all over again. Sanded the first set, before and after. One coat on both sides. I did those as well as my 2x4s. Okay, they're all painted now. Now it's a matter of attaching the 2x4s, which are also painted. So I have to lay down the floor because it's so big on both. It doesn't fit on my table. So that's what we're doing now. Okay, the cement had set on the pole, so now I'm ready to fix what was around here. I took as much as the old black mulch that I used to have here, and I put more weed cover because now I have to reset my, I had the stepping stones there, and I've noticed that they work a little pattern, which I'm probably going to change the pattern, and then I'm going to change it. Instead of putting black mulch, I'm just going to put this decorative stones around it because I'd rather not have a lot of weeds to deal with, so I'm trying to get ahead. Oh, and I also did put a brace. You can see that part doesn't painted. So after everything's in place, I'm going to give it, I'm going to touch up my paint on the blue trellis everywhere. So that's coming up next. Okay, trying to figure out a new configuration for my stepping stones here that I had. I'm thinking I definitely want a good center because I have a big pot that's going to go in the center. I am thinking of kind of doing that and then sort of repeating on each side. Hopefully I have enough, but I'm just gonna give it. Okay, this is the pattern I came up with, and I just put them down. I'm not gonna bother aligning them too much. Just want to make sure that they're not super wobbly. But yeah. And now I'm gonna put the stone. The stone's gonna go all the way wherever you see the wheat fabric. So it's just like a little accent. It almost feels like it needs like a little square of something there. So maybe I'll come up with something for that. I don't know. We'll see. But I'm just checking them out, make sure that. See, this one's pretty wobbly still. So I need to put a little something extra on that. I'm just using this little rocks, you know. That's all it takes. Yeah, that's better. Like I said, I'm not gonna worry leveling them out or anything like that. Okay, let's throw in the big rock. Well, I finished laying some of the large stones. I have to go buy some more bags. I still don't have quite enough. Didn't quite make it all the way to the back. And I try to spread out as thin as possible so I don't have to keep buying more. But I'm just gonna also use what I have. My husband doesn't have an aquarium anymore, so I have all this extra gravel that I'm just gonna spread in between the grooves, and that would help. And also I got some paver sand, which I haven't tried before, but it's supposed to be kind of good, you know, helping kind of things solidify together when you have a paved path. So let's see how it goes. Okay, I spread out the gravel. Again, I don't have enough for the entire area, but I concentrate on the front and on the more visible areas. And I can probably, once I put the paper sand on the rest, it'll be okay. And now I'm gonna wet it because I think I want to spread it out more and kind of make it be more visible than it is now anyway. And besides, you always have to clean the stones come always very dirty. So, well, let's get some water in here, and then I'll do the paper sand. And then at some point I'm gonna get more of the stones to finish the back there. Okay, so you see I spread out the gravel because I didn't want to, you know, I wanted to expose the pretty rock. Which doesn't look as pretty when it's not wet, but whatever. So now I'm going to put the sand. And I only got 3 bags. I'm sure I'm going to need more than that. So another trip to the Lowe's. Okay, so I hosed down. All the paper sand is in. The 3 bags were not too bad. They had, decent coverage. I might get 1 more and maybe 4 more bags of stones, and that should be it. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with it so far. We'll see how it dries and how it feels when it's all dry. Because this paper sand is supposed to lock in the, it has like another additive in it to make it actually kind of hold the stones in place. So we'll see how that works out. And if I like it, I might then buy more paper sand. Because this one I did a while back. I just put gravel because I was gonna put some plants in between, but then I changed my mind because there's too many weeds. I mean, I still might do some plants. I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, this one is just a little bit crazy. I put some cement on one point, so that's why you see that. I might still go with the idea of plants, but maybe after my party, not before. Since this is what we're going to be sitting down on the floor here. So anyway, so next step, it's going to be, you don't think it's going to stay like that, right? It's a lot of stuff coming here. I bought this panel that's going to go, I think, on each of these sides. I have to measure it first. Let me show you what it looks like. A few years back, I made this backdrop here for the pool, which also needs some fixing and maintenance. So I wanted to have that one, which is over there. It's the same paneling from Ikea, but of course painted a different color. But I wanted to relate to that a little bit better. I took the metal thing that I had. The ones here in the kitchen are the same thing. You see, I have done that kind of weaving of the kind of galvanized kind of metal. I'm kind of over that. I wanted to change it and make it more like that. So I got another panel, but to save money, I got 1 panel instead of 2, big enough to cut into 2 is the idea. And then the middle is just gonna have 1x3 slats stained in the black, like this one in here. So let me take some measurements. Hopefully this thing cuts well. We'll see. So just to give you a visual, see that? I'm gonna cut that in half, and one side's gonna get that and the other side's gonna get that, and the middle is just gonna get slats. So I'm just trying to see what it looks like, and I'll just cut exactly in half, whatever that ends up being. So let's see how it cuts. Okay, so I'm gonna cut them instead of using this width, because this width is too much for each side. This is wider, so I don't want them sticking out to the side. I'm just gonna cut them this way. So this is gonna be one panel, and I'll have a little extra left over that I'll have to figure something to do with that. But 31 and a quarter, and they were a little different, so I measure them both, which is always good. So 31 and a quarter. Oh, I was gonna put some tape, just in case it gets really raggedy. Okay, I use a cinder block to help me hold it in place, but that's what it's gonna look like. I think it's gonna be good. Okay, there they are. I cut them and they look pretty good. You cannot really tell what cut is because I put the cut on the inside. So yeah, that looks good. Now for the middle, like I said, I'm gonna cut some 1x3 slats. So okay, here's setting up for painting my slats. I'm gonna go on the bottom part of my trellis. So I basically ended up buying 6 1x3x6, and the scraps that I had, I'm using here just as a little elevation, and I didn't have enough, so I just put some foam that I have that I've been using for this purpose. So yeah, so I'm gonna use the same stain that I used before, this kind of Valspar one coat exterior stain in sealer in the black, which is the same color that I use on my shed. So you'll have some, and it's also the same color that's on the slats that's over the pool, so it'll coordinate. So let's get to it. This is a 1 coat stain, but oftentimes I put 2 and 3 coats of it just to make sure things really do well, and I'm happy to report that the shed's doing really well, and that's all this product. I have 2 different colors on it. Anyway, so and I use a roller, which might not be orthodox for some people, but I like to kind of roll everything with these little foam rollers. I feel it gives me kind of a little deeper coverage, and I don't have to worry about a second coat sometimes. So we'll see. If I can get away with 1 coat, I'll do 1 coat, but if not, then I'll do a second coat. See, I want to make sure that you get a really deep coverage. I'm not necessarily wanting to show the wood grain in this case. It's very, very solid. So let's see how it goes. Okay, well, my boards dry up. I flipped them and did the other side. It's time to start adding my decorations. So the first thing I'm going to put here is this mirror, and it's actually, I'm putting it here, then later I'll probably change to my other mirror, but this is my Moroccan mirror. Fortunately it's not really good for outdoors, so I can't leave it here while the other one is, but let me show you what it looks like. Okay, there it is. I hope it's not too low, but let's see when everything else is in place. I wanted to put it at a good height, kind of not too high. Now I'm gonna add some pots with plants and also some sconces that I got. So I found this set of sconces at a flea market. It was both of them for $5, so it was a great deal. They're missing the little cap for the battery. So the first thing I gotta do is find out whether the batteries even work, and if I could just lock it up with maybe with, oh, looks like they might have a timer. Oh, good. Anyway, so let's try that first. Okay, looks like they don't work. Even with, fresh batteries, see, nothing happens. So in that case, I'm gonna take those off because I could probably easily find other ones that I could put that will work. So I'm gonna first do that then. Okay, here's a little pot that I had colored earlier in the sconces, and then so I'm gonna try to see how they will work here. So I have to figure that out. Okay, there it is. What do you guys think? I'm thinking I may have to paint the sconces white. They sort of get lost a little bit, especially during the day. I guess if they had a candle, they wouldn't, but let me know what you think in the comments. Starting to do the black bars in the middle, and I'm using just the scraps for my spacer in between. And that way I don't have to. I made sure the first one was really nice and level, and now I'm just doing this with my nail gun. Easy peasy. And here it is. I finished the slats in the middle. It's me in the middle there. And all the pots, at least for now. Like I said, I'm still thinking whether I'll paint the sconces white. I'm gonna think that one a little longer. And now the last step is to do my pot in the middle, which is gonna be like the focal point of the focal point. So let's get to it. This is the idea. I got these two pots, and I'm just gonna use one as the base and one as the top, and I'm gonna glue them together. And I also I'm gonna put a lot of weight on it because these pots are really light. And I'm gonna put some bricks and things like that I have, and rock, because I want to make sure that I don't have to put that much soil. And the soil will also be quite heavy, but also because I want it to be sturdy. And if I need to level something, I want to kind of know it now. See, it's a little off kind of thing because my patio is not perfect. But anyway, that's kind of the idea. Okay, I'm gonna use this adhesive, which is good for interior and exterior, and it happens to be clear, so I don't have to worry about it showing. And I'm just gonna do it on the rim, and then I'm gonna put the other pot on top, and then I'm gonna put a weight and let it kind of set. Okay, as you can see, I put 2 bricks that I had to give it a little weight, and I'm gonna put some of these. I have a ton of these foam, and as you can see, it's nothing precious. It's pretty cheap at the Dollar Tree, so I'm just gonna put a little layer of that, so again, reduce the amount of soil that I'll need. Well, here it is. Now the last step is to plant my planter. I already filled it with soil. Got my plants here waiting. Got my solar spotlights ready to go. And and then I still have to find a candle for my sconces, but this project's almost done. Okay, it's time to start planting my pot. Last step in this thing. I'm gonna start with my big ones here. These are cuttings from other plants that I have. I had these plants in this pot when I did my secret garden tea party, and I think I'm gonna use these in here. They sort of are gonna droop, so I need some droopish. This gap. Okay, now almost final, is this little stringy things, which I also used over there. So this is a leftover. I love these things, and I don't oftentimes find them at Lowe's. So it's kind of exciting what I can find. show you some of this river rock that I have. Same one that's on the round patio. Let's see. Okay, and here it is, all rinsed up. It looks a little wackadoodle, but you know, as it grows, I'm sure those vines will do all kinds of interesting things. You can see the rock in there. Some kalanchoe. More rock in the back, which is really helping support those plants and anchor everything else, and also keeps the soil in when it gets water. Sort of got water, but it doesn't have to get water too often. That's the beauty, again, of succulents. So there you have it. Here is the completed pot all planted up, and the backdrop all finished. The one thing still remaining is that, like I mentioned, I think I'm gonna have to paint these guys white. They're really getting lost in there in the grid. I think white will be good, and then the candle will be white. So I need to get a new candle for it as well. So there you go. So this is my little seating patio. Now the seating patio is almost finished. Now the next project, which will be a separate video, is I used to have a fire pit in the middle, which I made out of broken tile. It broke. I had it for a few years. So I'm gonna recreate it, and this time it's gonna be better. Like every time I redo something, I try to improve on the last the last model, so to speak. So stay tuned for that. It's gonna be a mosaic fire pit with an insert that actually makes it smokeless fire pit. So that works pretty good. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please give a like and subscribe. Okay, and to give you an update, I did spray paint this sconces white, and I think it made a huge difference. Also, as you notice, I took some of the plants that I had put in the front of the planter. I thought it was getting a little too crazy. I mean, I don't mind having some of those on the sides, but I wanted something softer in the front, so that's how that ended up. So there you go. There's my little accent patio there on the side, which is going to be key for my Moroccan party coming up real soon. So make sure you stay tuned for that.